Hello, you guys. Good morning. I hope everybody is doing well, or afternoon, whatever time of day it is then that this message reaches you. I hope it reaches you guys and finds you guys doing absolutely great, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. We're gonna do a something I don't normally do, but when I'm guided to, I do it. Is a full moon reading. Okay, pause. I'll be right back. Okay, I had to get us a little background music. Y'all know how I do over here. I'll be having to have a little bit of noise in the background, just a little bit, very light. But I got us some flute music playing for this full moon. You guys, I merged two decks together. I merged the Moonology deck along with the High Vibe deck. I'm not going to read, because some of these are kind of long. I'm not going to read the words on the card here, but I am going to focus on whatever this says, okay? And this one says laughter. So this full moon, you guys need to make sure that you include some time to laugh. You need some laughter. Now we're going to use this as our point of focus. Okay, this is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So we'll use this Oracle deck as our focus card. Okay, we'll post it up here in our little card holder. Okay, I think that is so cute. When I found that, it was for something else, and I said, I gotta have it for the channel. I got to. Okay? Got to. All right. So let's call in the angels, the Most High God, our ancestors, and the highest spirits, right? What message is our focus point for this full moon? Can I have one card out of this deck, please, Holy Spirit? What is our focus point for this full moon? Good morning. Good afternoon. Okay, realization. And this is a keyhole. All right. So if this is coming through, this is letting you know that there is a key that you hold the power to. How do I want to say this? There's a door that you hold the key to, and you have the power to unlock it. Okay. But we have realization. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in this card, let me just talk about the card for a minute. But in this card, the woman's already made it through the door. Okay. She could turn back and she could go back to this dark side here, or she could continue on through to the light side. But I do need you guys to notice the raging waters. But there's a realization here, a sense that I picked up is that those raging waters, it's like there's peace in those raging waters. See, she's in her stance. Okay, if you guys can see, her hands are behind her back. She's just kind of looking at the water. She's not afraid of it. Okay, she's just looking at it. One thing for sure, two things for certain, is that she's safe from that water. She's not in it. It's not consuming her. She just is looking at it. Okay, so there's something, you guys, that could be appearing as a storm or appear raging. Okay, that you guys could be looking at. Okay, or realizing something about those raging waters. Maybe that's the whole thing or point, is that you're going to be realizing how safe you are. Yeah, peace at the bottom of the deck. How safe you are from these raging waters. There's stillness here. I'll be back. All right, let's go ahead and get back into it, y'all. I wanted to put this up here somewhere. I paused the video because Biscuit went in the restroom and she makes a lot of noise when she goes in there. So I didn't want that noise on the background. But anyway, we're back. Okay, so we were talking about having this realization. Okay, it looks like you're going to be reviewing your role in something. Okay, your role or position on something. You may or may not like what you see. Okay, but it's a part of self-awareness that you guys are going to be examining. Okay, so do it fearlessly. And that's what I was saying. She's looking at those raging waters, right? But there's a level of safety. All right, she's not in them. So don't allow something to convince you otherwise. Don't allow anything or anyone to convince you that you're overwhelmed or you're overtaken or you can't, or something's consuming or going to consume you. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's get back to the notes here. Thank you, angels and spirit guides, for clearing accurate messages. Where there is smoke, there is fire. It's the title of this full moon reading. I believe it's a full moon in Pisces, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But let's go ahead and get into, yeah, that's about right, because we're in Virgo. It always, for me, I think it always does the opposite. Like the moon's always When it's full, it's always the opposite of the sign you're in. Okay, you may notice that. Um, but anyway, and we are in Virgo. Are we in Virgo? We're about to be in Virgo season. It's the month of the Virgo. I don't know if we're in Virgo season yet, though. I need to look into that. But anyway, Virgo, if you're cuspers or whatever you are, maybe that's what it is. Happy birthday to you guys, Virgos and cuspers. Okay. But anyway, let's get it. So this full moon ushers in divine reversal. God is going to be dismantling and reversing the alchemy. I was going to say alchemicy. I don't know where I was going to get that from. Ooh, love sensations. Okay. Love sensations. But God is going to be reversing the alchemy that was once sent against you. That's what he's going to be doing this full moon. Okay. Letters. All right, love sensations and letters. I feel like this is God saying, yeah, he's sending you love notes. He's sending you love messages, okay, by telling you that, hey, I'm about to calm these waters for you. Yeah, the waters might be raging, or they may have been raging at one point, but I'm about to calm these waters for you, okay? I just feel like love notes, okay? Something about the month of February could be significant, all right? And we have water. Make sure you guys are staying hydrated. Okay, you guys during this full moon could need to do like a spiritual bath, or just make sure that you guys are properly hydrating your body. Okay, it helps to calm your body, and it also increases your intuition. The more water you drink, the more intuitive you guys become. Okay, now you guys have moved through the full cycle. Okay, there's a full cycle of completion here as we're approaching this full moon energy. Ascension, transformation, reunion with love, and then clothed in purity. This is a sacred renewal, a rebirth under the full moon's light. Okay? Body movement. Get your bodies in motion during this full moon. This will help the energy move through you at this time, okay? As well as any downloads. I'm hearing it's going to move any apprehension out of the way. Some of you guys could be apprehensive about something, meaning you guys are having second thoughts, or you're a little overly cautious about something. You're having these apprehensions. You're like, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if I should do that. I don't know. So moving your body is going to help you guys to move that energy out of the way. Okay. And let more truth come in. So the indigo children are going to be very significant in this season. Happy dance. Yeah, somebody here will moving your body. You need to do your happy dance. Do more of your happy dance. Okay. Or there's something, that God is going to be revealing to you through a space of love. So your heart chakra is significant through this full moon. But there's something that God's going to be revealing to you through a space of love, from a space or perspective of love. And it could put you into your happy dance. Okay. It could make you want to celebrate. All right. Bust loose, bust a move. All right. So you could find your guys' selves doing that, leading up into and through this full moon cycle. All right. Now, the indigo children are significant in this season. Watch for their presence, their wisdom, and the ways they signal new beginnings, because there's a new beginning here. So that could be something that God is going to be communicating through a space of love, that, hey, I've opened this path for you. I've opened this door for you. Here's this opportunity. Here's that manifestation. Here's that new start. Here's that clean slate. Okay, so look for those type of signs, and it could come through the symbolism, and the words and the actions of the indigo children. You could be an indigo child, okay? You could be born during the years of the indigo children, all right? Or you guys, maybe you could have an indigo child. You could have birthed an indigo child into this world, okay? But God will also be illuminating a move or relocation. Released. Oh, he done freed you, honey. So this full moon, I was going to say this free moon, okay, it's coming through as a free moon. This full moon will be a free moon, okay? And it's releasing some type of shackles that may have held on to you. This could have come through the way of negative emotion. This could have come through your vibration in some type of way. Maybe somebody was trying to manipulate your vibration. That could be a part of the alchemy that was sent to you. But it's being released, okay? It's being released, all right? those pent up emotions that could be self imposed, whatever. You guys start to use your throat chakra and express yourself through word. You may need to get, if you guys do battle with that kind of holding things in, start to write it down so that you can find a form of release that's healing, okay, or therapeutic for you. So pay attention, because God will also be illuminating a move or relocation. He's releasing you. There's going to be a shift in your environment that aligns with your soul's path, okay? I guess the Moonology deck doesn't have much to say because there's only high vibes this full moon that's popping out, okay? I guess that's a good sign for a full moon. Maybe you guys have already done the releasing that was required. Ladies, you could notice that your cycle has aligned with the full moon, okay? Now, with this full moon, let me tell you, hidden matters will be coming to light, okay? And this takes us back to this realization. The full moon is going to be illuminating things that are hidden, okay? So review those things that come up without fear, all right? Without apprehension, okay? Without judgment, all right? Just review it, figure out if it aligns with your highest and greatest good. And if it doesn't, then this is a perfect time to release it, okay? Because God wants to release you, okay? So a revelation will emerge with this full moon. And this revelation is going to present what could have grown into a very big or challenging situation. The divine protection is woven into this unveiling. So let me break it down to you. Yeah, emotions, okay? So you guys' emotions, you could feel a little vulnerable, a little sensitive, a little more emotional than normal. Okay, that's okay. You could find yourself shedding some tears, and that's okay. All right, that's a part of release. So yeah, water and emotions. Okay, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy rules the moon, right? And so it's an energy where that's why this cleansing is needed. That's why you need to drink more water. That's why you need to get next to a body of water. That's why it's good to do that spiritual bath, right? To help you to cleanse and move through these emotions as you're moving your body as well. Okay. What was I about to tell you guys? Oh, about this emerging of this revelation, excuse me, about this revelation that's going to be like unveiling a challenging situation. So let me explain. On, what was it, last Thursday, my air conditioning compressor went out. And so it was hot in the house, okay? And when it's hot, you can smell things that maybe the cold air masks, okay? And so let me give y'all this the way it was revealed to me so that you guys can understand what I mean when I say that a revelation is going to come that's going to prevent what could have grown into a very bad or big or challenging situation, okay? So with my air going out, it allowed for the house to settle. It allowed for smells in the house to surface, okay? And so what surfaced was the smell of sewage, okay? And again, because when the air is on, you don't smell. You can't smell. The smell is masked, okay? I feel like that's why they keep hospitals freezing cold in a also, you know, in an attempt to keep down bacteria and germs, right? But I feel like it also has to do with some of the smells that come up in the hospital. Okay, if the air went out in the hospital, there would be an awful smell. Okay, but anyway, let me tell you now. It's kind of like if you lose power to your refrigerator and how you start to smell all the different foods and you can tell, oh yeah, that's bad, that needs to go out, or you know, something like that. It's that type of a vibe. Okay, so long story short, my air went out last Thursday. There was a smell that started to come from my drains in my house, in my bathrooms, in my my kitchen. The drains began to stink. Okay, And normally what you do is you go through periodically and you pour bleach down the drain, you run the garbage disposal, you clean your toilet out with bleach, you let it sit, you flush it and let it go down the drain. You pour bleach in your bathtub drains or in your faucet drains and your sinks, right? Just to kind of clean anything, because we spit down there, we take baths and our dead skin cells, they go down, all kind of stuff be in drains, right? You got food in the kitchen, it goes down the garbage disposal, it could leave a smell if it didn't get all out, whatever. And so periodically I do that. So I didn't think anything of it, but when the air conditioner went out and I was left without air for a few days, I could smell the drains and it started to funk up the whole house. And I was like, something is wrong. So I ended up having to call the city and let them know, like, hey, you guys need to come flush your lines because my house is not able to drain properly. There's something backing up in my pipes, right? So I called the city, they came out, they checked it out, okay, and they took a look at everything and they figured out what it was, okay? The thing is, had my air conditioner not gone out, I would have never smelled the intensity of the sewage coming out of my drains, okay? For those of you guys that have ever smelled sewage coming out of drains, it's an awful, awful smell, okay? It's awful, all right? And it's actually poisonous. It's like a gas, okay? But had the air conditioner not went out, I would have never realized that there was an issue with the drains in the first place, right? So that could have potentially become a really big or challenging situation had one thing not led to another. So had the air conditioner not gone out, leading to me being able to smell the drains, leading me to be able to prevent something that in the future could have become a really bad problem. Luckily, I caught it before waste and sewage actually started to come up out of the drains, right? Since it's backing up, right? And so this is that type of a situation. That's how God gave me that revelation for this full moon. One thing leads to another, and it's going to prevent something big later on. Okay, so you guys are going to be having that epiphany or that realization. Oh, that just fell out of my hand. Okay, thought stoppage. Oh, okay. Now it says, are you running negative tapes in your head? You are the one in control of your thoughts. Just tell yourself, stop, negative thought, get out of here. You are the one driving your bus. Stop being a passenger and start taking control. Okay. So this is, I feel like that I'm not going to take that card, but that was like to alert you or to put you up on game. Like, hey, there's a stoppage. And it could be in your thoughts, okay? So there's something that you guys are going to be realizing that's going to, and it could be a negative thought that's on repeat, okay? That could give you the realization once you review it, like, hey, you know what? If I don't stop thinking like this, then later on down the line, this could become a bigger challenge. This could become a bigger problem. So in whatever way it relates to you guys, okay? Let's see if we can at least get one Moonology deck, Spirit. Can we get one Moonology card? Or Moonology, you don't have nothing to say. You just in here as comfort. Okay, we have inputs. Okay, inputs. Now, I want to say when that card came out, it wants me to tell you to be mindful of other people's inputs. Okay, I'm not going to read the meaning of this card, but what I'm going to explain through this is that be mindful of other people's fears. Okay, be mindful of your own fears. Let me explain. Okay, we got one at the bottom of the deck. Nothing is yet set in stone. Okay, so this is what we will take as our Moonology card out of all of that. Okay, but anyway, this is the vibe that I'm getting here, is that with inputs, be mindful of your fears, be mindful of other people's fears, because your fears or other people's fears can cause you to fear. Your fear can cause other people to fear, and other people's fears can cause you to start to fear. Okay, so we have to be mindful of our fears. Are they real? No. Fear is false evidence appearing real. right? And so we have to be mindful of what we put out there. Give you an example, okay? Just an example, very surface level example. If you're watching a particular reader, okay, and you notice fear in sight or come up in this person, and you then, it triggers you to start thinking about that, like, dang, yeah, I'm afraid of that too. That's not good. That's not good. We shouldn't fear nobody or nothing but God, okay? And so there is an energy with this full moon. Review your fears and review how you are communicating those fears to others. Don't project your fears onto anybody else, okay? Deal with your fears. Face your fears. Overcome your fears, okay? Because fear is a stoppage, okay? And fear is a block. All right. And so just be mindful of how you communicate with others as it relates to, say, if somebody wants to go off and they want to study, we'll just say meditation. Somebody wants to start taking on a meditation ritual. But because you've never taken on a meditation ritual, you may be like, oh, but what if this happens? Oh, I wouldn't do that because, you know, you could do this and you could open this up and you could go here and this could happen and this. That might be you, you know, but for somebody else, don't allow your fear to stop another person from progressing, from evolving, from healing. Okay, so just be mindful, and we can take that and apply it to different areas of life as we're talking about different things, right? So apply it however you guys see fit, but just be mindful of your fears. There's a need to be mindful of them at this time. Okay, let's see if we can pull a few cards. I have a few more minutes here just to kind of peek around in the spirit. So Holy Spirit, what else do you want us to hear, know, and see for this full moon? What else for the collective do you want us to hear, know, and see for this full moon energy? Okay, the Four of Wands, which is interesting because, and the energy of Shiva is significant. Okay, Lord Shiva, all right? Because I saw that energy. I actually saw a crescent moon sitting above my head, and it made me think of Shiva, and I was like, hey, are you here? You know what I'm saying? When Lord Shiva comes, something getting tore down, okay? Something's getting tore down. But when I addressed Shiva, the energy was like, I'm not here for you, but I'm here for it took me to these notes where it says that God is dismantling and reversing the alchemy that was once sent against you. So you guys could see or have a encounter with Lord Shiva or see a sign of Lord Shiva through this full moon. For many of you, it will be a sign that you're good, you're stable, you're secure, you're protected. Okay. We have the Knight of Pentacles here as well. Okay. So Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy could be highly significant. Let's see what comes out. And then we're going to wrap this thing up. Any other messages, Holy Spirit, that you want me to call out, notice, or see? Yeah, see, there's that new start that's coming. Here's that new start that's coming. Okay, so you're gonna this happy dance. You're gonna bust out in that happy dance when you receive the message from Source that this new start is coming. When you notice the sign. Okay, so pay attention. Okay, pay attention. The Two of Cups. The Two of Cups. Okay, you guys may want to write a letter to yourself, or you guys could want to do a practice where you write a letter to someone that you may have hurt or offended. Okay. I was watching a show, and in the show they did this practice where the instructor told the people to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay, now get on an elevator. And as you get on this elevator, there's someone else on the elevator, but they have their head down. You can't see who it is. All of a sudden, you know, the elevator starts to plummet. And in that moment, as the elevator is plummeting, you look at the other person in the elevator, at which point you can then see their face, and you realize that it's the person you've hurt the most in life, right? This is somebody you've offended the most in life. And though you're afraid, you want to ask this person for comfort. You want to hold them. You want to hold their hand. You want to let them know it's going to be okay. You want them to save you. But this is somebody that you've hurt very deeply, very badly. And so they said, open your eyes. And then after that, it was like, okay, now write a letter to that person. What would you say to them? And I feel like with letters and release and with the Two of Cups, this is coming through as a healing practice, right? Where you sit and you ask for forgiveness. You don't necessarily have to send the letter. You don't necessarily have to send the message, but it's a matter of you releasing that guilt or that energy. Okay. All right. The Two of Wands. Okay. I just feel like expect a manifestation to come through is one thing I'm getting, but I'm also getting to, oh, and yeah, expect communication from someone. Okay. A close friend. You guys could notice somebody comes towards you and you guys have a deep conversation. But anyway, expect emotions to be running high at this time. Okay. Expect that. The Nine of Wands. Okay, so the Nine of Wands on body movement and inputs. Okay, I feel like it just goes back to making sure that you move your body. It will help you to release that pent up energy. It's going to help you to release any negative emotions. Okay, negative energy. All right, there's some negative energy that wants to be released from your body. I feel like it even wants to leave you. Okay. All right, at the bottom of the deck, the World. Yeah, it's come full circle. Okay, this energy has come full circle. All right, remember, where there's smoke, there is fire. Okay, so the other thing, and there's a lot of fire out here. Remember, oh, hold on. Remember, what was I going to tell you guys? Yeah, that where there's smoke, there's fire. So pay attention to the emergence of those revelations that you guys are going to be having, the emergence of those realizations you guys are going to be having. Okay. And then remember that one thing's going to lead to another. Okay. So there may be a little smoke there around that revelation or that realization that you have. And it could, once you evaluate it, allow you to put out the fire that could occur in the future. Okay, so I just feel like this is like preventative care almost, or preventative maintenance. Okay, it's like going to the doctor. Ladies, as we do, we go and we get a pap smear, right? And we go and it's called preventative care on our insurance. If you go ahead of time, then you're preventing something happening from later on. So if you take review, if you evaluate, if you become very self-aware of certain things in the now, it's like going to be preventing devastation, disappointment, upset, okay, for later on. All right, remember, knowledge is power. Okay, but this has a lot to do with self-examination of your role within a situation. Okay, so take that time out. We talked about that realization of who you've hurt, maybe writing that letter this full moon. Okay, but this is all a part of your growth. All right, you guys could, yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. Okay. Now I'm going to look at this card here for just a second. It says, I have timely self-awareness and act upon my realizations. So challenge yourselves this full moon, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this read, and my loves, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.